Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Command & Conquer 0 Hour, and Blake is back.
Hey, you might not have noticed, but I have been on holiday for a couple of weeks. Travelled over to New Caledonia. They love shoutcasters over there, not really. They probably don't know what shoutcasting is, but I had a great time, fantastic time. It is fantastic to be back.
Would you say it was fantastic?
Oh, I'd say it was fantastic, Machine. Fantastic would be the adjective of choice that I would like to throw down here. As my good friend up the top, Mr. DustinRhodes, is the GLA Vanilla, is throwing down a lot of fake supplies and barracks. Well, barracks and arms dealers.
Isn't barracks already a plural?
Yes.
Like
I was adding barracks just because I like to do that. You know how bad I am at English.
Like, at least in 0 Hour, you rarely pluralize the word barracks, but like in a StarCraft cast, they always say, yeah, man, so he has like 4 barracks. And
yeah,
now
well, that's the correct way to pluralize it, but I like being bad at English, so it's my thing to throw
it's
down.
true. You're very good at being bad at English.
Thank you, Machine. I appreciate the support, and also appreciate my friend Serpent down the bottom. He's going to be playing as our USA Vanilla, so we have a Vanilla matchup here, and bro, don't! He's walling in his dozers, which is cool, but like, that's just like Tech Terror bait out of 10.
Yeah,
so.
Walling off is not really like...
He's walling his dozers in, and like, I've seen this before. We've seen this before in USA matches, of course. It's nice to wall in one. Don't get me wrong, like, walling in a dozer is fine, but walling in 2 dozers is just like, hey bro, do you want to just 2 terror my entire base?
Yeah, that's the bigger problem, is it's like, yeah, like here is fine, because you have the natural wall, and you're going to lose a barracks, not a big deal. But it's like, you lose a war factory and a barracks, oh, sorry, a supply, especially as USA. Like, it's even more punishing as USA than what it probably is for other factions, to lose a factory and a supply.
Supply barracks is fine, it's not really a big deal, but yeah, supply war factory is not great.
We forgot to say what factions they were. They're both Vanilla USA and Vanilla GLA.
I said both, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty cool. I actually like seeing Vanilla matchups. It's a lot more fun. Generally, you'll see a bit more unit variety because you have access to all of those units. Like Serpent, if he wanted to, he could build Paladins, though I doubt that would happen. So Tech Terror, I believe this was Tech Terror and Top Tech RPGs. Does get gunned down though. Also, the map is kind of different. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like Tournament Desert, but it's like green, and I'm like that because I'm a little bit sick of desert, to be frank. Yeah. You know. Like,
I feel you, Machine.
After living in Australia, we got enough desert here. You know.
We got plenty. Interesting start coming in here from Serpent. He played pretty slow to start off with, which you don't always do against GLA because it does. As we see here, it does give GLA enough of an opportunity to completely spread out tunnel networks, take over the map. He has played it slow, but he's played it smart as well. He has missile defenders spread out. He knows where the technicals are coming from, has the rotation in with these Humvees. He's actually built out a pretty substantial Humvee army as well. So I'm not hating it. I'm definitely not hating it, but there are the oil derricks to consider as well. You really do have to try and have control over those. There's quite a few oil derricks on this map.
DustinRhodes is getting a pretty good tunnel network here. He's got so many tunnels all throughout the map. It's going to be hard for Serpent to actually push through. Just for the record as well, this is actually from the, I think it's called the Sharble tournament.
Okay.
The one that has the 335 whatever it is prize pool. So that's kind of cool. Like, it's actually really awesome how, like, because the servers went down, it's kind of like, oh no, the game's going to be dead. But like, because the servers went down, it means that more people are running more tournaments. Which means that, like, for us, there's just so many good replays to cast, like, all the time. Like, kind of people were like, oh, how are you going to cast 0 Hour if, like, the servers are down? But it's like, people are playing on Game Range, people are playing on Revora, and because of the tournaments, it means that there's so much stuff going on in the community. So it's really cool to see GameReplays.org keeping this game going. And, you know, big shout out to all the guys running the tournaments, the players competing, you know, the real MVPs, like... It's really easy for us to find replays. We just go GameReplays.org,
definitely is,
just browse like one of the million tournament forums and just go, this replay is over 150 kilobytes, but oh no!
The advanced demo trap is going to be the real hero though. Oh, ouch! I had to quickly do that transition.
Yeah, that was a nice one though.
And the 2 Humvees as well as the ambulance do go down.
And
a
massive
massive technical pop, in fact, Machine.
That's true.
Humvee's actually going to start to be kiting this, so they should be fine here, but extra one does actually go down. Most of these RPGs are going to start getting sniped from long range, but we did in the end lose about 3 Humvees. It's
got to the stage now where whenever I see a tunnel pop, I just basically assume it's a quad pop, right? Yeah, but actually tech RPGs in this situation. And there's a bit of veterancy as well on them, so Serpent may have to disengage from this one. There's a lot of army there for DustinRhodes. Does have 1 oil, 2 oil as well on the side, even a hospital. So he does actually have, he has the healing on his infantry. So he doesn't have shoes, but hey, he has hospitals. So that's kind of funny.
It's pretty great.
But other than that, will be also an oil derrick from Serpent. Only one of them, however, has a fire base down there too, which is nice to see, especially against the tech RPG. The fire base is really important.
We do have spy drones out now as well, because you've got to be careful of the demo traps. When you're playing with this many Humvees and you're playing them all together in one big lot, a demo trap can completely cripple your army.
Yeah, actually, it would have been a lot worse there for Serpent, but the Ambo was slightly in front of the army. If like it was all in a line together, he would have lost more than I think 2 Humvees.
And it was on automatic detonation as well, which is another lucky thing. Like some players always leave their demo traps on manual detonation, and then if they have micro that's good enough, you just see them detonate in the exact middle of an army on the really important stuff, or like on ECMs or something. So
yeah, so this is actually pretty good kiting here for Serpent. He's just sniping down RPGs for days. Hasn't lost a single Humvee. Looks like Buggy's actually coming out.
Nice.
So that's what Dustin was waiting for. Doesn't really do too much with it.
Does actually lose 1 Buggy there as well.
Yeah, and the tunnels will go down.
No secondary line of tunnels coming out here from DustinRhodes. He kind of has them all on the line, which makes it hard to pop Buggies from the back end. Therefore, he only gets 1 go on it. Does snipe down a B. Has to pop straight back into the tunnels. No Buggy ammo yet, though. It should be done fairly shortly if we do see the Buggies coming out.
Yeah, also there's a supply in the middle here. Can he hold it? That's the real question. Haven't seen a Jarman just yet. We'll be focusing the supply. It's pretty exposed now, given that he has a bit of a flank. There is a garrison there, but there's only a single RPG inside. A Buggy's coming through from the north. There's actually 4 of them now. The supply has been sniped, so good play here from Serpent.
Nice evac coming in as well. Having a few missile defenders on the side really limits the Buggy's mobility. Just having 4 or 5 of them means the Buggies just can't go close.
Oh, Burton.
Oh, Burton is out as well here. Yeah, Burton is the absolute bane of Buggies. Nice bait coming in here. If he actually attacks up to the top with the Humvees and the Buggies pop down the bottom tunnel, yeah, that's what he's going for. Burton's waiting for the Buggies, but the Buggies are actually popping up the top.
I think he might also be looking for a Jarman knife. The Jarman was hanging around, but he's a bit too close to the tunnel. Burton's actually revealed, which means the Jarman's going to be a little bit more careful. Didn't even get a Buggy, I don't think.
No, he didn't. You have to be a little bit closer.
Yeah, that Burton reveal wasn't amazing, but still, Jarman has hit the field. We'll be sniping down some of these missile defenders. Burton actually going for a knife, maybe. No, going for a regular shot. Does get the kill in the end. You got to be careful, because if the Jarman is paying attention,
he will one-shot.
Yeah, the Jarman can counter-snipe the Burton before he finishes off.
Oh, the army's going to get collapsed upon here. It's absolutely devastating. All the missile defenders are going to be going down here to the quads, but they're actually managing to turn this one around. Serpent plays really nicely. He popped all the missile defenders out from those Vs, had them on the front lines, because there weren't enough quads. They couldn't snipe down all the missile defenders in time, and the missile defenders actually cleaned up the rest of the Buggies and the technicals there. Leaving them inside the Humvees would have been complete suicide, because all these units are trapped on the side.
Burton does get taken out by the Buggy rockets. The barracks still is alive. It's very important to snipe that barracks, because it will delay the Jarman, and that's a pretty big deal.
Definitely is. So the Buggy is still getting some snipes down, have that double Buggy ammo.
Also, a shout out to Blake for being an absolute baller, like casting like a boss whilst actually kind of sick.
I completely screwed that engagement because I'm sick and I had to like wake myself up. And
I didn't even notice, man. Like it sounded good.
I'm trying really hard here. I'm trying to ball hard, almost as hard as these Buggies are balling, and even not quite as hard as this A10 strike, because if it comes down at the right time, it could catch all of these Buggies out.
Well, he didn't go for the old derrick, but going for a black market and the tunnel.
Just the back market's going to be sniped down. So taking down that late game economy, very important, big plus. Serpent is playing like a pretty big baller here, sniping all across the map here, like microing several Humvee armies at once. He wasn't even scared that he got caught in the corner against the supply there. He just kept trying to play it out for time, which is cool to see.
Still, the middle supplies have been mined, so... And the third supply wasn't even sniped in the end. So DustinRhodes is actually not out of this game just yet. He still has a pretty decent layout of the tunnels. He has good eco. We'll actually lose the supply in the middle, however, so that's great news there for Serpent. And Serpent is just balling out these Humvees, even getting these supply drop zones. He's actually ahead of the late game economy of Dustin, which is always pretty impressive if either a USA or a China can late game economy, the GLA player.
It's very impressive. So some good stuff coming out here. Summing in the pilots as well, that's important. I don't want to let them get back inside the Humvees.
Find me a vehicle.
Find me a vehicle. Jarman's back out as well. Spy drones all over the map, so they're going to be revealing Mr. Jarman. Serpent should be knowing about this, and it's pretty solid USA play. I love the supply drop zones. That's probably the, as you were saying, Machine, the key point to his play. You know, that and hotkeying his Humvee group. So. So yeah, having the supply drop zones is really nice.
Oh, very close.
Way too close. He could lose all of these.
Does lose only 2 of them for now, but a little bit crucial. And as Blake said earlier, he only has a horizontal line of tunnels. Having like a diagonal or at least like a vertical line is really strong, because then you can pop the rear buggies very safely, get a couple of Humvees, go back into the tunnel, and then you're able to do some pretty free harassment. In this situation, we've seen it earlier, he keeps popping out. Like even here, they're too grouped up where he can't really get that back snipe. Currently, for now though, that was a good engagement because the Humvees were a little bit far off. This Chinook actually is going to be mining while getting shot down by those RPGs. No quads here just yet. More missile defenders on the ground. Oh wow, what was that?
I don't know. What just happened? All the buggies just went down. I don't even know what happened there. It was like missile defender shots came out. Like the buggy was laser locked and it popped out of the second one, and I think they just took damage from like the Hellfire drone and from the garrison as well. Like the garrison, I think, had range on that secondary tunnel. I think that's what we saw. Like as the buggies popped out, one of the missile defender shots and like a Hellfire shot came down onto the buggies, and they took like a heap of splash damage as they were popping out. I think that might have been what happened, but we did see quite a few buggies go down, as well as most of the Humvee army. So going back to the tunnel network placement, yeah, having like
like this is good.
Line of, this is great. Having a horizontal line of tunnels is good at the start of the game when you're talking about like quad RPG pops, because you want them really close and you want the Humvees to have to group up and force through several tunnel networks, and you can kind of pop out of the other one while they're focusing like one tunnel network. But when you get to late game and you have buggies, you want as the machine was saying, you want that vertical line, you want back tunnel networks, and you want forward tunnel networks. And you also want Burton to be blowing up all derricks as well. If you just flick over to the top right-hand corner.
Nice.
So,
also, because you can scale the cliffs.
You can, yes.
So it's kind of hard to hold that old derrick. So that's pretty cool to see. Hopefully it is timed. Yeah, it must have been. So old derrick has been taken out. Very important to do so, especially given that Serpent has his old derrick still, which is kind of impressive because it can be pretty easy to snipe that with a tech terror. And since GLA doesn't have any airstrikes like China and USA, you can't kill it with those clicks. Nice range of combat drop actually, and drop some missile defenders to get in the garrison. Really good play here.
Nice, that's a beautiful way to deal with the tunnel network.
Wait, is that a Humvee that I saw? Yeah, that's a Humvee.
Yeah, he got sniped down by Jarman. That's the Humvee that actually killed Burden earlier, so...
Ah, I see.
Pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, having a Jarman in a Humvee's nice, but at the same time, you can just get a buggy if you really want that that transport with the firing ports. There's a Jarman now.
Oh no, they really should snipe down this tunnel network. Jarman's just gonna walk his way
through.
Yeah,
they took the hull, exactly.
Yeah, they didn't destroy the hull. That was pretty important.
And those garrisons are now ungarrisonable. They have been destroyed, so they're harder to use them. So yeah, DustinRhodes held on very well, given like I thought he was gonna actually lose to that massive Humvee army in his base, and now he's got a lot of black markets. That's what, the 5?
On his way to about a 4 or 5
yeah,
count
4 or
here.
5.
I'm pretty sure Serpent has a ton of supply drop zones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8? 8 or 9 supply drop zones, and he also has the there's an upgrade that you can get, isn't there? Or
oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very cheap. Improved supply lines.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No.
The only reason why I remember is because of the voiceover line where it's like, we now have improved supply lines, or like whatever it is that he says. So, look, I wonder if Serpent will go for a particle cannon. Like, they're pretty bad given their cost, but he's going to be pretty far ahead. I doubt he will go for them, however. Just massing a huge Humvee army is probably going to be the best way to close this game out, especially if he just keeps whittling away the black market count, which is still pretty reasonable at this level. However, oh, he gets one of them. That's nice. Yeah. Has the barricades, giving them the extra health to those buildings, but still able to take them down pretty easily with the A10 strikes.
It does make particle cannon use a little bit harder. If the black markets are a little bit spread out, which these tend to be, you'll get one, like maybe two if you're like really quick with your particle cannon micro. Like you get the speed up clicks, like the double click. You like double.
Oh, tomahawks, nice.
Tomahawks is good against buggies. Love tomahawks. Doesn't get the second one.
Oh, he gets two of them. They get a
two more
splash.
buggies.
Like with tomahawks, it's arguable if they're cost effective, but they're a good way to kill them. Often you have those 1-for-1 trades. But Serpent would have a better economy, so I think the Tomahawks are actually very smart. Like, you can also counter buggies with Comanches and Raptors to some extent, and Auroras, but they're very fragile. They're very easy to lose to quads. That it often just isn't worth the effort of trying to make the airfield work. Actually, mixing in an Avenger too is pretty nice to see. So Serpent's got a nice unit mix here. Burton does get, I think, one buggy, and then the Jarman gets the counter snipe. So nice to see DustinRhodes escorting his buggies with his Jarman.
It does surprise me we didn't see an Avenger a little bit sooner. I thought we would see one coming out, given we got a USA Vanilla here on the side of Serpent. But hey, I'm glad he has it now with his Humvee army. It does limit your mobility a bit, but I think with the amount of buggies on the field, you just need it. Just need that Avenger.
Yeah. So going for a bit of a counter attack here. Pretty surprising given how pushed back DustinRhodes is being.
There we go. It's the Tomahawks.
Yeah, so
the Tomahawks outrange the buggies.
Tomahawks with the support of Avengers are going to be very strong in this situation. I wonder what DustinRhodes is really going to do here. He hasn't gone for any battle buses yet.
Yeah.
He could even go Scud launches if he wanted to.
It's not actually often that we see Avengers coming out at all, because people go factions that don't get Avengers, so...
Avengers?
Sorry, they don't get Tomahawks. Tomahawks. We don't know what
Well, it's only
CC.
laser.
Only laser that doesn't get them.
Yeah,
so,
the Super Weapon does, and Air Force does as well. It's only a laser.
We don't see them very much, so...
Yeah, that's true. You certainly don't see them very often. It is nice to actually see them in action. The Pathfinder will get crushed. Not cloaked while moving.
They are definitely not.
So there hasn't been a huge reliance on infantry units, but it's good to have the counter snipe for the Jarman. Also, like, sniping down the workers would be nice if he wasn't walking within range of the tunnel.
Network. And workers aren't very expensive, let's be honest.
Yeah, and now they're Pathfinders, really. They only cost 600, so it's like 3 for 1. Not factoring in the delayed mining time. And also there's a lot of space on this map, especially given how much space these players have. So there is actually a lot of room for the black market spacings like this. He hasn't really done that spacing. Also, like, airfields, he has space for it if he wanted to. So just more supply drop zones. And it's actually been a long time since we've casted a late game situation like this that doesn't involve like a GLA mirror.
GLA,
which I'm all down for. Like, I love long games. I just don't necessarily enjoy long GLA mirrors. Like, they're good sometimes, but a lot of the times they can just be a bit dull.
Most of the time, GLA mirrors come down to who has the best black market micro. Like,
yeah.
really what it is. It's just like, who can build black markets the fastest?
So I do really like how Dusty is still being aggressive, because it's preventing Serpent from kind of doing the same. Well, actually now he's going for the middle, so it looks like, is he actually trying to 1v1 this firebase? I say 1v1, but it's actually like a 10v1. But still, it's a horrible engagement, loses a lot of those buggies. Yeah, he gets the firebase, but not expensive.
The goal here is to get the no, go for the oil, my friend. The oil!
I mean, the powers are pretty good as well at delaying the production, but yeah, sniping the oil would be really nice if you can do it. Isn't even low power mode, so not actually much of a big deal there. Shout out to Serpent for actually building more power plants than he needs. When you have so much cash, just building excess supply power is going to be a good idea. Also, maybe just because he wants to have enough power that he doesn't go low power mode when he finishes building his drop zones. So Dusty's holding on with his buggies. He's sniping down some Humvees, doing pretty effectively. At the moment, Jarman is looking for more blood.
Tomahawks get another 2. Buggies though, these things are getting deadly.
Yeah.
And the plus side is, like, when they're firing onto the tunnel networks, like, the buggies can't really pop out because the splash damage will hit them. Oh, this is intense. Jarman does get one of the snipes though. We should get an evac. One
downside here though is there isn't any real missile defenders, so there isn't a lot to recruit. There actually is one in a Humvee, but these are pretty much just Tauvies. They're not really Rockvies at this stage.
Tauvies can be a nice way of dealing with, like, buggies.
Oh, like that. Like, that could have gone so much worse if the timing was a little bit worse off there. Like, even now we see it's making it hard to actually use those buggies.
The prediction is real.
Yeah, it looks like slowly Serpent is pushing his way through. That Tomahawk's like really close.
It's actually getting targeted by it.
And see, now that there's so many tunnels to pop from, that he has a fair bit of freedom in how he does so.
Bomb truck!
Oh, really?
Hoorah!
Nice.
Hoorah! Can we get the Dominator trick?
Yeah,
I saw that video.
How good was that video?
That video was the best.
Just if no one's seen it, basically you can actually bomb truck, like, and disguise a spy drone or a Hellfire drone. It's pretty funny.
No, dude! Dude, it's the trick! It's the
Is
trick!
it? It's going for it! Did you spill your... God damn it, Blake.
I got a little bit too excited, machine.
Do you ever get too keen that you just, like, drop...
Fill energy drinks somehow using your headphones cord.
The only problem with that is obviously it gets revealed, but he used the spy drone trick. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I love that. That was fantastic.
If
Everyone go
Dominator
check
is
out
watching
Dominator's
this,
channel.
he must be like, son, I am so proud right
Yeah.
now.
As you saw, it gets disguised as a spy drone and like comes in along the ground and just like.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is also that like you can, the spy drone is physically quite small. So, as Blake tries to clean up the fucking mess, this is like the third time he's done that.
Oh, come on, man! I get pretty keen.
It's like
let's be
it's
honest.
Blake's hobby is spilling drinks on my carpet. Is like you can you can disguise, like I use that word hesitantly, like you can kind of hide, you can obscure the bomb truck behind a structure like a hospital or an old derrick or so, because the spy drone is a small unit that like it might not be able to see it given the default camera facing. Will be a push up the right side for Dusty, push in the middle for Serpent. Let's see. There's actually no tunnels here. Oh, there's a tunnel there.
One
so
tunnel.
That's his only retreat
He's
path.
got to go for it now.
Serpent not quite tightening the noose. We'll let those Humvees escape. But in the meanwhile, he's actually taking a fair bit of territory back off Dusty. The supply has pretty much exhausted most of the supply like stashes. But still, the Humvees are actually losing a fair bit of them. So, I think if anything...
The burden.
Yeah,
Oh,
look at
gets
the burden.
by the tunnel, though.
Oh, almost is taken out there by the buggies as well. Sorry, yeah, the buggies. And, man, like, Dusty's really catching up in his black market count.
He definitely is.
Like, there's still probably more for
There's still a lot of supply drop zones, though. I want to have a look at the cash income. We can just like flick over the players and like see how fast they're actually getting cash in.
Unit lost.
Well, I mean,
That's
USA's
pretty quick.
like pretty inconsistent because
Yeah.
it's like you have supply drop zones which are very like inconsistent, as I said, whereas like black markets
It's
are constant.
very like constant
Yeah.
income. But it does at the moment. I'm pretty sure DustinRhodes is behind in terms of the control.
Yeah.
Not by much, but I'm pretty
It
sure
looks like
Serpent
it.
has is getting more income.
Like, so also, supply drop zones are technically more cost efficient. Like, you get more income per minute overall. But black markets, the fact that they're consistent is obviously a plus, and the fact that they have way more health and a
Yeah.
hole. So, like, black markets are better, but if you're looking at a pure cost efficiency, technically, supply drop zones are ahead.
Yeah, and looking at it as well, it's like USA has ways to deal with the black market count. GLA doesn't really have a way to deal with the supply drop zone counts.
Apart from a sneak attack, which
Yeah.
we haven't seen yet.
We haven't seen the sneak attack yet, but I'm assuming it's coming very soon because we have to see, like, I reckon just a couple of battle buses to just... Well, there's
Yeah,
a
there's
battle
one.
bus, so that's the
And buggies
general
as
idea.
well.
Getting in point blank range for the
Wow.
drop zone as well. And
The
it's still
Humvee's
alive.
not responding. He's
Battle
going to
bus
lose a
still alive.
lot.
The battle bus just has to absolutely roll through.
Oh, that's a fuel air bomb. Maybe it's a leaflet. Oh, that's actually a leaflet. Nice work. Gets the black market, gets
Oh,
all
it gets
of the buggies as
everything.
well. And that is the one downside of playing that close to the base. He does actually evac his RPGs. The Pathfinder doing some great work there. It looks like this little
Oh, wow.
aggression here from Dusty. It may spill the end because he's going to lose pretty much his entire army
yeah,
here.
Leaflet drop lasts for so long.
Almost lost the Humvee to splash damage.
That's insane. That was
But-
beautiful leaflet drop.
Yeah, that's got to be great news for Serpent now, taking out that huge army. I mean, that's the advantage of doing a sneak attack, is that like if a leaflet or a fuel airborne comes, you can just evac into the sneak attack. But in that situation, he was out in the open, so like he didn't really have much ways to actually do that. Even if he hit split, I probably wouldn't have done too much.
This
so,
is the moment where, like, yeah, Serpent just needs to push in. Look
Yeah.
at this though. He doesn't have. I don't think he has a. He doesn't have a spy drone.
No, he doesn't.
Come on, man. You need spy drones mixed in.
Doesn't look like there's any demo traps just yet.
No.
But
I mean, there could be.
yeah, so.
That's what you gotta remember.
Well, there's an anthrax bomb.
Anthrax
Oh
bomb.
man, that's gonna be deadly. Does he get
It-
shot
it
down
went
though?
off.
No,
No,
he
it
actually
went off.
finishes it.
Wow.
Well,
Oh, that's brutal.
blow for blow here between
That's
Serpent
brutal.
and Dusty.
That's the entire Humvee army. That was perfectly placed.
Gets a lot of money from the cash bounty as well.
That was a beautiful play. See,
Yikes.
that was the time for Serpent to push, and that's just a perfect Anthrax bomb coming
Yeah.
in. Perfect leaflet drop, perfect Anthrax bomb. Got a Scud Storm coming up now. Man, yeah, it can be hard to get a good Anthrax bomb. On a Humvee army like that, they kind of duke out on each other. You really limit the mobility when they're standing still. If the Humvee army was moving, he might have been able to get out of it because they had to, like, turn around, and then with unit collision, it's kind of hard for them to get out of the radius, so...
Yeah.
That was great.
That would have been a GG as well, like, because there was so many Humvees there that Dusty had no answer to that. He could have just killed every tunnel that he saw, so very clutch Anthrax bomb, and I'm still waiting for the sneak attack. He is vanilla, so he will get that one.
Yeah, it's like vanilla Rebel Ambush is probably not the strongest. But
Oh no, it's pretty bad, yeah. Unless you're using it to, like, cap a sniped Overlord, or... Like, I've seen people use it against buggies. Like, just having 4 rebels against a buggy army will kill a couple and force them to back away. But against USA, there really is no point of a rebel ambush, a vanilla rebel ambush.
I think probably the hardest part with these, just using Tau Vs here, is like, Taus don't hit, like, moving buggies very well, like ground units at all. Like, Tau missiles will hit the ground.
Do they?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Watch on the ground. Like, they track air units really well, but they're not gonna. They won't track the buggies as they're like running away. Watch the next time you
GPS
see a V
Scrambler.
engagement.
I think.
Yeah, watch this next V engagement. When the buggies try and disengage, the Taus won't be able to track the buggies properly.
Right.
So it's about the air units. Like, Taus are really great against air. And
Like,
they'll,
they're still
track
good
really
if
well,
the
but
buggy is, like,
yeah.
not
If
retreating.
the buggy
damage
isn't
is
moving,
good.
like, they're great. They're fantastic.
Or they're moving forward.
They don't
or, like,
hit
sideways.
consistently, like, when the buggies are, like, running away.
So, Serpent's just waiting until he gets more Vs out. Yeah, he has a fair bit of spy drones, however. There's actually a Burton here. There is a quad, so if he can snipe the quad down with the Humvees, and his Burton can kill
Another
everything.
Tomahawk.
2 of those gets taken out here. Quad can't reveal the Burton.
No, Benton's still in this
Unless
one.
he uses a radar van scan. I wonder if we have any online just yet. Yeah, going for the quad. That's his plan. Going for the drop zone, at least now as well. Now the Burton.
Alright, so here, let's see if the Taus actually... See, watch the Taus, like, miss. Then they start hitting. Like, on the ground. You see there?
Yeah, I mean, still that, like, the Humvees have great machine gun damage.
Oh, they do, yeah, definitely.
Against the
if
buggies.
Humvees can actually close in.
Okay, that's the Spectre gunship.
But the
There must be
Spectre
a
won't
fuel air bomb
enough
as
on its
well.
own.
There must be something
There has to be a
else.
follow-up, yeah, so it's double A10.
He's actually repairing this as well. This is a really
This is good. This
play.
is good timing. You have to focus down. Yeah, so the A10s are going to be called in now.
I don't think it'll be enough, though. Will it actually be enough? Oh, the hole is there.
So that resets the timer. at
Yeah,
least,
that was
so-
why. The worker was repairing. That made the big difference. Maybe if he just focused the worker with the Spectre.
Yeah.
So
Big
now...
engagement in the middle.
Oh, yeah, in the middle. Looks like a couple of Humvees get taken out. 28 minutes. This game's been going for quite a while.
Definitely has. Yeah, so the Bubus, I mean, it might be able to just run in here, but it's getting focused down by all the Vs. A couple of Avengers in the mix here as well have been deflecting a fair few of these buggy shots, and the longer this engagement goes on, the more damage the Tomahawks do as well.
I just feel so baited by these supply drop zone, like, the
you keep
carrier
thinking
things.
stuff's coming in.
Yeah, come
so,
on, fuel air bomb. I'm like, nope, it's just a supply drop zone. Oh, like
Right.
a
So,
leaflet.
explaining the support power play there, you get the Spectre in first. The Spectre will absorb a lot of, like, quad damage. It absorbs a lot of AA damage. They're really tanky. So you call the Spectre in, and then you call the A10 in after that. So while the quads are still focusing the Spectre, you get the A10s coming. The A10s are obviously a lot weaker, and they can be easily shot down, and you lose a lot of your damage there. But the Spectre will absorb lots of anti-air damage. So you, as we saw there, the quads are focusing the Spectre. The A10s came in, and both of them got their shots off.
If there's like 10 quads and then he pops in the middle and the A10s fly all the way through the tunnels, you probably will lose at least like one of them.
Yeah.
If the A10s are firing where like the quads are, chances are the A10s will drop
They're
their
generally
payload
okay,
before they get gunned down. And still, we see Serpent's just losing a lot of Humvees. So Serpent had a great early game, but now look how many Avengers he has. He has 4 Avengers. It's a 1-to-1 ratio as far as Humvees go. So let's see how effective these buggies actually are against that many Avengers. That Tomahawk could be deadly, gets 2 of them. Like, that's the problem is when you send your buggies back towards your tunnel, they often clump up.
Yeah. Yeah, anytime out in the open, we haven't really been seeing much, but in and around the tunnel networks, they definitely do clump up a bit, and that's where we've seen the double buggy tomahawk shots. This game is incredibly tense.
It is.
Holy hell.
This game is it's like on a knife's edge. It's been an absolute slugfest.
I just want to know why the Avengers aren't getting so much veterancy for shooting that many missiles down. Like, I'd be employing those pilots any day. There's so many Avengers now. Like, buggies just aren't going to work against 4 Avengers.
Yeah, he needs
None
to
of the
go
shots
more
are going to come
quads,
out.
but there's enough Humvees there.
See, this is where a vanilla rebel ambush would be nice because they can take out the tomahawk, but
Well, not really.
well,
The
I don't
Tomahawk
know,
would
they
probably crush them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Tomahawks have more health than what a buggy does.
Let's be fair. Look at this. Look at the zaps,
Wow,
man.
this is
Look
one
at the
Humvee
zaps.
though. And he's focusing the quads on the RPGs, not actually the buggies. So now we just, oh wow, well there's the Humvees. I was going to say now we need to see more Humvees coming from Serpent, but my prayers were answered.
This could be it, man. Like, there's so many supply drop zones on the field. Serpent has so much income. It's just nothing but buggies here. Buggies and like has all the Avengers that he needs. There's another Anthrax though.
Oh man, and the exact same spot as well.
Oh, that's rough.
Wow, that's like the real kick in the nads, is that he lost it on the exact same
Same
spot.
spot.
Oh, actually, sneak attack in the back lines.
Oh, could take out all the supply drop
That's
zones
a
here. That's their leaflet drop.
Nice.
Yeah, nicely played.
Doesn't even have time to dodge because he was on the edge of the map next to his CC. Rangers are there, and there's like only a couple of, there's like a RPG and a buggy. Now there's another quad, but realistically the Humvees have moved in. Nice timing there, but not quite. I would have loved to see the like buggy just steal all of his cash.
Yeah.
You get like I think 100 or whatever per crate. Man, it's like blow for blow with these support powers. It's like they're doing so much, but it's not.
As soon as it looks like the game's over, it's just the support power just completely changes.
Yeah.
it, so.
On the one hand, the middle's been opened up. There's like not many tunnels left, so it's limiting the room that Dusty has, and there's still a pretty big Humvee army. He's reinforcing that one rather quickly.
There are a lot of black markets as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, this game's crazy.
If you wanted to
Don't
sell
even know.
someone's organs, this is the place to do it.
It is. Jesus, tough. I think what would have been nice there, next time we see a sneak attack, is to kind of pop out of the tunnel, bait the leaflet drop, and then pop straight back in again. Yeah, that's what we have seen at like really high levels of play, like trying to bait out support powers like that by jumping straight back into the sneak attack tunnel.
Yeah.
I think in the end though, the Humvee army is just too big. It's just too many Humvees.
Yeah, at the same time, Serpent has basically infinite cash at this stage, where having like a few just like defensive Comanches can be nice, because then the moment a sneak attack comes out, you just rocket pod the sneak attack, and then it can't really do anything. Yeah, he was going to lose that one. The
Yeah, he
Humvees were
was.
closing in. He only had like 2 buggies left. GG. Very, very close game.
Nice. Again, it's rare that we see GLA beaten in the late game.
Yeah, I think it's just because Serpent pulled really far ahead, because Serpent had that fantastic push.
He had like a 5 like supply drop zone head start.
Yeah, he was
Over
really
Black
far
Market.
ahead. So like it wasn't really a fair game as far as like the late game count was, because Serpent had a great push in the mid game, put Dusty pretty far back that he was already behind, so he couldn't really catch up in terms of production. That the Humvee army was just, it was there. Didn't matter how many Humvees he killed, he was reinforcing them, and like that they weren't even like Rockvies. They were just Tauvies, so like they weren't really hard to micro. Like, when you have to like manually build your missile defenders, put them in a Humvee, like you have to like evac them. It's just like, no, I just have like 50 Tauvies, bro.
Yeah.
What of it?
It was like hard to deal with because like rocket troops are great against that, but there's so many Avengers mixed in. Like it's just hard to play against.
I don't know. Like maybe he should have tried building a couple of angry mobs.
Yeah.
Because like they don't, because he has so many Avengers, and angry mobs they soak up a lot of damage that like it buys time. But
I think we could have just seen like a flashbang transition though. Or something.
yeah,
Like,
it
would've been
wasn't
too hard.
Like realistically, he was pretty far behind, as we saw. Like only 5. Wait, that's 50,000. 50,000 cash.
Yeah.
So like, still a fair bit, but I think Dusty played that fantastically to stay in the game for as long as he did. And
those Anthrax bombs.
yeah, and after that Anthrax bomb, like I thought that was gonna even things up. You get a fair bit of cash bounty from that, and I think his only real chance there, like realistically, was for a sneak attack to really pay off. And I think like Serpent was just holding on to his leaflet, like he wasn't throwing it away. He had it for a long time and was just waiting for the sneak attack. And so I think there was probably a lot of times there where Serpent would have been like, man, I could really I really want to use my leaflet drop right now, but he
Gotta
was
save it.
disciplined himself. He kept it for the sneak attack, and it worked out brilliantly. So, yeah, really nice game there. 32 minutes. And see, and that's why we do the
Beautiful.
anti-spoiler
Love
screen.
that, yeah.
Because like most of our games are like 15 minutes, and then every now and again you're gonna get a game that's like, wow, 33 minutes
long.
and
Exciting.
it'll probably come as a bit of a surprise. So I hope you enjoyed the cast, and thank you for watching.
Cheers.